Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Once a sleepy backwater, the city today is an Asian financial powerhouse. The city draws in the rich, the smart, and the beautiful. Kuala Lumpur today is a truly international destination with a growing expatriate community. One of these was 18-year-old Ivana Smit, an aspiring model. Dutch-born Ivana was always more at home in vibrant Malaysia than in the dour landscape of Holland. She was raised by her grandparents in Malaysia, returning intermittently to Holland where her parents lived. Ivana had given life in Holland a go, even tried modelling there, but she found the Dutch reserve stultifying, and it was hard to shine in a culture that disapproves of public displays of self-promotion. Instead, she returned to Malaysia, where she thrived. A Kuala Lumpur English language lifestyle magazine, Unreserved, produced an in-depth study of Ivana's life. Unreserved notes that Ivana's looks and personality slotted her right into the country's modelling scene. Pan-Asian beauties are particularly admired in the modelling industry, and she had been in the spotlight since she was old enough to appreciate it. Her appeal was obvious for all to see on her public account. Posing provocatively in sexy swimsuits, barely covering her glowing body, she looked like a Sports Illustrated model. She posted embraces with the new man in her life, happily sharing her dream Instagram life. She seemed confident and certainly not shy, and then it all went wrong, terribly wrong. In December 2017, Ivana Smit was only weeks away from her 19th birthday. On the afternoon of December the 7th, Ivana's broken body was found on the balcony of a 6th-floor apartment in a luxury high-rise complex. She was naked, with no identity documents, but it was apparent that she'd fallen from a great height. Police called to the scene were quickly able to determine that she had last been seen entering a 20th-floor apartment above where she was found. This was the home of an expatriate couple, Alex and Luna Johnson. Both Alex and Luna had been in Malaysia a few years already, where they were a familiar and dashing sight within Kuala Lumpur nightlife. The couple were relatively new to Asia, however. Previously, Alex had lived an innocuous life as a stockbroker in the United States, his native country. He'd been happily married, living in Atlanta, Georgia. He'd worked for companies such as American Allied Mortgage and several other financial services companies in Atlanta. In an interview with the Daily Mail, Johnson's ex-wife, Mary Ann Scarlato, said that during their marriage he was very apple pie, very vanilla, and wouldn't have hurt a fly. But, perhaps suffering an early midlife crisis, Alex divorced his wife after 10 years of marriage. He then headed off to Malaysia around 2011. He opened his own investment firm and was one of the early backers of Bitcoin. Along the way, he picked up a new wife, Luna, who was originally from Kazakhstan. Sometime in late 2017, the couple were out at a party when they were introduced to 18-year-old Ivana. The trio hit it off immediately, starting a sexual relationship. In a tell-all interview with the Daily Mail, the Johnsons would say they regularly hooked up with young women for trysts, but that their previous relationships of this kind had always been brief. With Ivana, though, it was different. With her, they had a real connection. In the interview, they revealed that they had what they called a progressive marriage and had enjoyed previous three-way flings, but Luna was especially taken with Ivana. She was beautiful, charming, confident. I was already melting. On December the 6th, the Johnsons met Ivana at a nightclub called Mantra, a favorite hangout for the modeling set. They spent the night dancing and drinking and continued club hopping. They ended their night at the Solaris Club, and later video showed Alec Johnson carrying Ivana out of the venue. That was around 5:20 a.m. on December the 7th. As dawn broke, the Johnsons and Ivana went to the Capstan residence, a 36th-floor apartment block in the heart of the city. They went to the 20th floor, to the Johnsons' apartment. At 3 p.m. in the afternoon, Ivana was found dead. How did a teenager with everything to live for come to die on a stranger's balcony? Ivana described herself in her own words on Instagram: top model Belgium 2018 finalist, model, production manager, hostess Malaysia, soon Paris, Don't wait for opportunity, create it. According to Unreserved, her choice of hostess was highly unusual. Let's pause here. It's rare to see hostess listed as a profession on a bio. Certainly in Malaysia, at 18, Ivana was already leading a complicated life. Models from around the world come to Kuala Lumpur to find work. There are magazine covers to grace, fashion runways to strut, and advertisement campaigns to shoot, perhaps even a chance to become a celebrity. If they have any hope of succeeding, young women must be seen at clubs where casting directors and agency bigwigs congregate. Models file in for ladies' night or models' night, dressed to impress and demonstrate to potential clients that they deserve casting consideration. Not all modeling jobs are clear-cut. Party jobs require models to turn up looking beautiful, sexy, and have a good time with free drinks and food, all to provide window dressing for rich and powerful men who want the company of a beautiful young woman. A party girl can earn $500 a night doing nothing more than hanging on the arm of a wealthy man looking to impress his friends. The line between being a party companion and prostitution is a fine one. Beauty has a short shelf life, and it seems likely some young woman at least would make the most of the brief opportunity to find a wealthy man, to take as a husband or even a wealthy lover. Was hostess in Ivana's bio a reference to these party jobs? People who knew her said Ivana always had wads of cash in her handbag. A model's income is unstable, depending greatly on the peak seasons, Fashion Week, launch of seasonal collections, and so on. So how was Ivana supplementing her income? Was she working party jobs, and had this put her life in danger? Police, meanwhile, brought Alex and Luna in for questioning. At 5:22 a.m. on December the 7th, cameras show Alex carrying Ivana in his arms through a hallway outside a nightclub. At exactly 7:24 a.m., by which time the three were in the Johnsons' apartment, Luna snapped an image of herself and Ivana. This was sent to Ivana's boyfriend, 21-year-old Lucas Kramer. This would be the last image of Ivana taken while she was alive. Ivana had only been dating Lucas for about a month, but had already moved in with him. According to an interview Lucas gave Unreserved, she told him the previous evening she was headed for a girls' night out with friends. He had no idea that she had another life on the side. At around 10 a.m. on December the 7th, less than a few hours after sending her last image, Ivana went out the 20th floor window to her death. A post-mortem would find that Ivana had ecstasy and alcohol in her system. Police took Alex and Luna into custody for questioning. They too tested positive for drugs and alcohol. Her boyfriend Lucas was adamant that Ivana would not have killed herself. Something happened between 7:24 a.m. when she sent me the last picture and 10 a.m. when she died. When questioned, both Alex and Luna told the police that neither of them knew what had happened. Alex said he was asleep between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. His wife claimed to have been taking their 4-year-old daughter to school in the morning. Luna said when she returned, Ivana was gone. As to why Ivana's clothes were still in the apartment, Luna said she thought Ivana may have borrowed some of hers. For a photo shoot, Luna claimed Ivana was to attend that day. In spite of questions around Ivana's death, Malaysian police closed their file on the case and ruled it an accidental death. Ivana's family did not accept this conclusion. They began a campaign to bring attention to her death. After her body was repatriated to Holland, a second autopsy was carried out by Dutch pathologist Frank van der Goort. Van der Goort would tell Dutch newspaper Telegraaf that the lack of blood at the scene of the fall suggests the young model was dead before she fell. Ivana also had bruises to her upper arms and head not caused by the fall, suggesting a struggle took place, Van der Goort said. Something happened before she fell from the balcony. Maybe she slipped, or maybe someone hit her on the head. Bruises like this are only possible when the heart is still beating. The Malaysian authorities finally opened an inquest that lasted for most of 2018. One of the witnesses at the inquest was Faisal Abdullah of Dang Wangi police station. He told the inquest he was suspicious of Alex and Luna's story. As one of the first officers to arrive at the Capstan apartment, he found the replies of the couple to his initial questions strange. When Alex and Luna were pressed for details as to what happened in their apartment, their only response was, "No comment, and I don't know." There is sufficient and reasonable evidence for the investigating officer to have converted the sudden death, accident or suicide report to a homicide investigation. But in spite of unanswered questions, a Malay coroner ruled that Ivana died by falling and that no foul play was suspected. Ivana's body was kept at a hospital morgue for 21 days before being repatriated to Holland. Her funeral received wide coverage from the Dutch media. Currently, the Malaysian inquest is yet to publish its findings, which are expected in early 2019. Alex and Luna have since left Malaysia, and their current whereabouts are unknown. In the end, Ivana was blessed with a beauty that opened many doors to the world of modelling and fashion. But it also opened the door to a dangerous world of party jobs, alcohol, drugs, swingers, and older strangers preying on young girls. Ivana may have thought that in the Johnsons she had found an ongoing relationship that would also help keep her bank balance healthy. But while the Johnsons had enjoyed trysts with other young women previously, only Ivana, it seems, was a repeat date. It's possible she inadvertently disturbed the dynamic of the Johnsons' relationship. Luna had left the apartment to take their daughter to school, as she said, and returning, found Ivana and her husband in each other's arms. Luna would have been exhausted after a night of partying and a morning running errands. She could still have been feeling the effects of alcohol and drugs later found in her system. Finding her husband and Ivana together while she was out, Luna may have become enraged, and an argument could have ensued that quickly turned physical. The Johnsons' maid would later tell the Malaysian inquest in 2018 that she had cleared away a broken bottle on the day of Ivana's death. If a disagreement had turned violent, Alex would have had to make a speedy decision: side with the young woman they had partied with, or stand with Luna, his wife and the mother of their child. The bruises found on Ivana's body would suggest a struggle before she went out the window. Only the Johnsons can say what really happened that day. So far, they are sticking to their story that they have no idea how she came to fall 14 floors to her death. For Ivana Smit, only 18 and still finding her way in life, that fateful day marked the end of the year of living dangerously.